It is the beginning of a new month, Saturday, February 1st, and we have a lot to unpack, some active weather in different parts of the country. Cold air, that is going to be a factor for many across the country this weekend, but as we look into the first half of February, it's really going to be Western Canada hanging on to some very frigid temperatures. Now, let's look at some of our daytime highs today across Western Canada. You'll notice some flurries as well in parts of the prairies. We'll be talking about that, but in British Columbia, the cold is beginning to settle in and setting up a very significant snowfall story. So heavy, low elevation snowfall. This is what we have a lot of attention on here through this weekend. Now you can see areas like Vancouver getting some impressive snowfall totals in the forecast. Now for our Saturday, temperatures are falling. By Sunday, this is the big lead story here. Heavy snow likely at sea level. And yes, those lower elevations. So still seeing some of that snowfall for our Saturday, but look at Sunday morning. That's when we get those heavier pockets of snow for the Vancouver area. This could be very disruptive as we're tracking this. And again, this is alongside some very cold temperatures and the snowfall likely spanning the next few days. So we'll kind of get a little bit more granular here into the lower mainland and Vancouver area. And yes, anytime you get into that 10 to 20 centimeter range for Vancouver, you know it's a significant event, or at least it has the makings of a potentially significant snowfall event. Groundhog Day is tomorrow. We have extended coverage here on the Weather Network and on the Weather Network YouTube channel for our live stream coverage. All the Weather Network reporters are on the scene, and they're going to be tackling all those results coming out of those wonderful Groundhog Day ceremonies. So we hope you stay there with us for tomorrow. But back to the weather, I mentioned those flurries in the prairies. You can see fairly widespread across the region. Nothing too impressive in terms of the snowfall totals here. But yes, we'll see this kind of tracking through our Saturday, through Manitoba, and then ultimately into Sunday. Still some pockets of snowfall to contend with. But the bigger story by far is the temperatures. Now, we've seen some cold temperatures for our Saturday in the mix, but as we fast forward into the beginning of the work week, we could be seeing some of the coldest daytime highs of the year for cities like Calgary. Look at Edmonton, minus 26 on Monday. That's 19 degrees colder than usual for this time of year. So very significant cold, and it's going to be a fairly prolonged cold snap until maybe Thursday, Friday. We start to get back down to the minus 11, minus 13 range for daytime highs. Winnipeg, not as severe of the cold, but still a prolonged stretch of some chilly temperatures in the forecast. Now off to Eastern Canada. Here's a look at what we're working with for our Saturday. You'll notice some flurries, a little bit of active weather for Atlantic Canada. Now wind chill values are quite cold, so it is still also feeling that cold in parts of Eastern Canada. Now, we do have a little bit of a system clipping parts of the Maritimes and the Avalon Peninsula, but a more significant system pushing in. That's some of that prairie snowfall that will be making its way into parts of Ontario and Quebec into our Monday. But for Atlantic Canada, here's that weekend snowfall. And yes, we do have a bit of action, some sea effect snow setting up, some windy conditions, could make for some difficult driving, but all in all, not all that active for the region. But temperatures are cold. Take a look at some of the wind chill values for today. And yes, it's going to be a bit of a temperature roller coaster for the Atlantic region. You can see up and down with those temperatures as we look all the way through the next 7 days. Finishing up in Ontario, we have some chilly temperatures to contend with, feeling like minus 7 for our Saturday in Toronto, and a fairly sunny day before cloud cover and some snow pushes in to end the weekend.